Hello, my lovely friends. I hope that you are having a day that is as lovely as you are, if not even more so. This morning I streamed the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase for July 2025. We had a whole lot of fun. Many thanks to everyone who turned up. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. There was a very large percentage of the viewers, the chat, who did not have fun, who were very upset about the Direct and me. I guess we shouldn't really touch on that now, but let's just say there were a lot of you that were there, and you were positive, and we had a lot of fun, so I'm very thankful for that. I'm just gonna talk about it now. As always, I will hit the highlights, the things that jumped out at me, and then at the end I'll give my overall thoughts. Although, I must say, I don't know if there has ever been a Nintendo presentation where I had more to say. Like, a presentation with this many of the overall, like the percentage of games that I do have something to say about is very high. I don't know if it's ever been this high. I have something to say about almost everything here, I think, yeah. Sorry, my voice is a little hoarse. Streaming does that to me. So it started off with a brand new Monster Hunter Stories. We got Monster Hunter Stories 3. That is very exciting. I have still not played the first one. Capcom brought that to Switch. It was originally on the 3DS, and then they remastered it for Switch. I played Monster Hunter Stories 2, and it's really good. It's really good. It's a very good monster collecting game, really high production values, and it does a lot of things that you wish that Pokemon would do. That whole thing, it's like, this is how a monster battling game should be. There's a lot about it to really like. I enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, first game of the showcase was a really cool reveal. I was really happy to see, and it's kind of cool. This seems to be a Switch 2 game, and the first game was on 3DS. And then the second game was on Switch, and the style overall so far has been a little bit more kind of cartoony, kind of not necessarily kiddie, but like very kid friendly. Here it really does seem like they're kind of aging up the audience, or rather just the characters themselves. I don't know, but you mostly just see grown-ups in the trailer. No sight of the little cat guy. It just has a much more mature kind of feel about it, and naturally being on Switch 2, the graphics look pretty good. Just overall looks like a pretty good visual upgrade from the other two games, so that's pretty exciting. I don't really have a lot to say about the story revealed itself. Seems to be another Rathalos related thing, like some Rathaloses were born in a weird way. There's part of me that kind of wishes Rathalos didn't always have to be the point of the whole entire story, but at this point now it's just that's what it is. That's what Monster Hunter Stories is. It's a bunch of stories about Rathaloses, I guess. But yeah, so that's coming. That's a really cool game, a really good start to the presentation. And then they followed it up with another big reveal, a new Katamari game. That's a thing. They put out a new one, I want to say within the last year or something, but it ended up being a mobile game or something, so that was a little But no, here you go. They just announced a brand new Katamari. Kane was freaking out. He's a huge Katamari fan. So yeah, brand new Katamari. That is also a thing that happened in this presentation. And it is, it's a little bit disappointing to see that apparently it's just a Switch 1 game. And the frame rate doesn't look super duper great. So yeah, it would be nice if it was on Switch 2 as well. I am hoping that when you run it on a Switch 2, if it's got an uncapped frame rate, maybe it'll run better, and they just couldn't really advertise it that way because the official version, the official platform that it is on is Switch 1, so it wouldn't be right to market the game and show footage of it running on a Switch 2. So I'm really hoping there's some kind of performance boost there. It would be really nice. But whatever the case, brand new Katamari. It's got a whole new soundtrack. You're going through time, all the different ages, and apparently there's new abilities and stuff you can do. That's another really awesome announcement. Then we got Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I'm not I don't play these games. I did really enjoy watching the show as a kid, and that's why the only thing I have to say about this is I've heard of this game, but I didn't know this whole thing where you can, like, do alternate versions of the story. Like, you can make little changes to, like, what happens in the story to do your own little custom scenarios. That's cool. I just wanted to say, I think it's a really fun idea, and, like, all the footage here is, like, mainly of the era where I was watching. So, like, no, that's awesome. Then we got a reveal for Plants vs. Zombies Replanted. Finally. Just, I mean, it goes without saying, but, like, EA buying PopCap back in the day and just absolutely taking some of these great series in directions that were not fun directions, and they really forgot about the original Plants vs. I mean, even just, like, the format, the style of the game. They went into the third-person shooter thing. But, like, no, like, the original classic Plants vs. Zombies, I have no idea why it took so long even to come to the original Switch. Just cannot even understand why. It's free money, it's sitting right there. But we're finally getting a new version. It seems to be like, I mean, I don't know if you could call it a remaster. It really doesn't look any different. I suppose maybe you could argue that it's at a higher resolution, maybe, but I don't know. It's always looked pretty. Yeah, I mean, I guess if they go for, like, higher than 1080p or something, then yeah, okay. I guess that makes sense. And it is adding, like, PvP and co-op. I don't know exactly what that looks like. I don't know how, like, I don't know if that means, like, a new competitive mode or something, or, like, is with co-op, are you just both, like, planting stuff? I don't really know. I don't really care. Mostly, I just think it's cool that it's coming because, no, I adore the original game. I think it's really good. Like, I genuinely think it's basically a perfect game. I think it's more or less a perfectly designed game. And I dumped so many hours into it across my PC and phone and probably a tablet at some point. It's just a really, really fantastic experience. So it's really cool that other people are going to be able to play it on their Switches. They announced Pac-Man World Repack 2, and I have not played the original, but I did have a lot of people in chat saying that this is one of those, like, kind of underrated 3D platformer gems from the era, a little bit like a Battle for Bikini Bottom. So yeah, I don't know. I probably won't get around to playing this. I don't know, maybe, but I just wanted to say that it's cool that it's happening because a lot of people say it's a pretty good game. Then we got an announcement for Persona 3 Reload. That's exciting. That's one of the big ones, the big meaty millions of hours Persona games, and it's coming to handheld Nintendo platform. I played the original version when it came out. Well, not the original Reload when it came out like a couple years ago or whatever, and really enjoyed it. I did not get to beat it, and I still regret it to this day. And I don't know if I will, because these games are just so big. They're so massive. They've got so much content. But I really, really enjoyed what I played. Super duper good game. Really, really awesome to be able to play it on Switch. That's cool. Especially for a game with that much content. You know, just it's set across so many different, like, in-game days, and there's so much to do, and it's, you know, it's turn-based and everything, so I think that is going to be a very, very good fit for a handheld device. So, okay, this was a surprise to me. It's still kind of surprising. We got a trailer for Age of Imprisonment, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. And, I mean, like, I sort of understand the logic behind it. It is being made by a third party, but, like, I still don't see it as a third party. I don't see it that way, you know? Like, Nintendo's publishing it. It's a Nintendo IP. It almost doesn't even matter who's making it. It's still a Nintendo joint. So I was very surprised to see it here in the presentation. Pleasantly surprised. I'm not going to talk about it too much because I think I'm going to do a separate video for it, especially because there is something that happens in this trailer that itself is worthy of a discussion. But I will say, weird to not get a release date. Really, really weird that they're still insisting this is coming out this year. It's basically August. I don't know why they would even give us a new trailer at this point if they weren't going to give us a release date. Don't really understand what's happening, but whatever. So then we got a trailer for Chillin' by the Fire, and I think it felt slightly out of place. Like, while we were watching, it was like a little bit weird It's a little bit weird to show in a presentation like this. It's very minimalistic. But now that I've gone back and watched the trailer again, I kind of get it a little bit more. Like at first you think it's like a survival sim or something, but like it's not. It seems to literally it's a fire sim. It's a bonfire sim. And I do wish the graphics looked a little bit more, it's a little bit more detail. It's such a minimal game that I think it could have done with a little bit more flashiness, especially again, if it is going to be in a partner showcase, you know, it looked more at home in like an indie world or something. However, I'm starting to warm up, lol, to the idea of just like a little thing where you chill by a fire. And I think the reason Nintendo wanted to have it in the presentation is because it uses game chat functionality with the faces. And like, it's silly, and it was funny to just suddenly see the faces there, like we were all laughing about it. But that is cool. It really is, I don't know, it really is illustrating the interesting opportunity afforded by game chat, by having your face right there in the game. So like you can gather around a fire and hang out with your friends, and your faces are actually there. Like you're really actually talking to each other's faces. I don't know, I think that's cool. I think that's pretty neat. And another game that had a little bit of the kind of simpler, kind of seems like an indie vibe was Hela. That is the name of the game. And it's about okay, come on, this is like, you know how to get me here. You play as a little rat, and you're wandering around like yards and gardens, and you have to gather ingredients to like cure your sick friend. Come on. You know I'm all about that. That's adorable. I will say it's another case where like it's a game that definitely could have benefited from a higher budget. It looks a little bit stiff, stiff in the animations, in the gameplay. I mean, I definitely understand it. Obviously, it is very difficult to make a game with these big, grand environments and the beautiful graphics and everything, so I'm not trying to complain too much. I think I just, I hope that the gameplay feels good enough. I hope that it's polished enough that it doesn't get in the way of the experience itself, because it really does look very, very delightful. Just a little rat guy with a backpack, with a magic froggy backpack, and you're going around. It shows you like feeding a dandelion to a bunny. Come on. Come on. That's my thing. This is my jam right here. It's delightful. It looks really, really delightful. And it got me thinking. I was like, oh, it's just like in, eventually I realized it was Once Upon a Forest, because that's a movie from the 90s where it's rodents trying to gather medicine for their friend. And I was like, what's that movie where you're a rodent trying to gather medicine for your friend? And everybody in the chat was like giving suggestions. And we realized there are a lot of 90s mouse movies. That is basically a whole entire sub-genre. It's not even it's just a genre. 90s rodent movies, mostly animated, but you could count like a Mouse Hunt. That wasn't animated, but that kind of counts. Just mice were huge in the 90s, I guess. Anyway, then they revealed Kronos The New Dawn. I don't quite know what to think about this one. It is by Bloober Team, and I know Bloober Team has drawn a lot of criticism in recent times. I am not as critical. I feel like Bloober Team does a lot of stuff really well. I think you could argue that some of their older games, I don't know. They've made a few games with a lot of style and not quite as much substance, but I feel like they really have been getting better at making more traditional gaming experiences. I have heard a lot of positive stuff about Silent Hill 2. So yeah, I don't know. This just seems to be some kind of weird, trippy horror thing. It does look very, very derivative of a lot of different things. Watching the trailer, it kind of just seems like this hodgepodge of a lot of different like games that you could just kind of name. But I don't want to judge it too harshly, because I think it does still, it looks like it's got potential. There's something about it that's appealing to me. Some of these ideas sound pretty interesting. Some of these gameplay mechanics seem a little cool too. So I am certainly open to the idea of it being a game that I may want to play down the line. I guess we'll just wait and see when it comes out how people feel about it. So then Sega revealed another game. They gave us a couple games here. Yakuza Kiwami 2 is coming to Switch 2. So that's really cool. I very recently played Yakuza 0 on Switch 2, and that was my first Yakuza game. And I get it now. I certainly understand it now. Really, really, really enjoyable. It's a lot like Persona 3 Reload, where I'm really enjoying it and I really want to keep going, but there's just like so much game. There's just like so much to do. Probably a little bit more manageable in this case, so maybe I will. But yeah, another one. So now we have the first 3 chronological games in the series. So that is very, very neat. Keep them coming, why not? 2 Yakuza games in 1 year? Sure. All right. So then the show closed out with not 1, but 2 Square Enix HD 2D RPGs, which is very weird and surprising, because like after they did that whole like restructuring, either I think it was last year, it sounded like they said that they were going to be pulling away from like more smaller to middle projects, basically kind of consolidating and doing fewer projects and making them bigger. What they said really made it sound like they were just going to be focusing on big AAA multiplats. Like the way they described it, I imagined that they were going to be culling games like this. Either they had some in production that they wanted to continue, or they are just still doing this as part of the strategy. Maybe they're canceling some other stuff, but whatever the case, we got 2 in one presentation, back to back, 2 new ones. First, we got the Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales. First of all, thank you for having a normal name and not starting with a weird code name that ends up being the actual name. Thank you very much. This game looks fantastic. It really, really does. I really love the HD 2D style. I know it's a little bit divisive, and some people are getting a little tired of it because we're getting a lot of games in the style. I still think it looks really, really good. And I haven't actually had a chance to play any of them like on PC or anything with like higher resolution. I've only played like Octopath 2 on my Switch. So I'm really looking forward to playing one that like runs better, for one, just higher, just a sharper image overall. But then this one right here, it's an HD 2D Square Enix game, but it's an action RPG. And I didn't even realize that was something I really wanted until I saw this. Because here's the thing, I really like turn-based games. I think they're great. I love turn-based combat, but it just ends up taking so long. It makes the game so long, and I find myself getting kind of annoyed by random battles. Not like always, it just makes the game feel very long. To bring up Persona again, that's one reason why that game is so, just one reason why that game is so long. It's also just got a tremendous amount of content. So yeah, basically just looking at this, and it's just an action RPG. It's got the same basic style, but you're just running around on the overworld and just like hitting stuff with swords and shooting them with stuff. And like, yeah, I don't know. It clicked. I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I want. I want that so much. I want the games to look like this and be of this high quality, but just take a break from the turn-based stuff for a bit. So yeah, this looks really, really fun. It looks beautiful. I love a lot of the level design, a lot of like verticality and all these like different layers. The main character has got a cool hat. I really like that. Got a fairy, kind of like Zelda style. I don't know. Everything about this game, it looks positively fantastic. I'm really, really excited about it. And apparently there's a demo already. I keep forgetting. I'm like going through the trailer right now. Apparently there's a demo available right now, and they're doing that really cool thing that Square Enix has been doing with all these games, where they like give a demo, send out a survey, take player feedback. I just think that's a really cool thing, and it's really surprising that we don't see that for more games. And yeah, I don't know, I suppose it is probably because these games are a little bit like lower budget versus the big AAA stuff, so it is easier for them to kind of implement these changes. I think it's really great, and I'm really I'm so happy to see that Square Enix is still doing games like this, because there's totally a place for them, and they are very, very cool. And then they revealed a new Octopath Traveler on top of that, and it's kind of weird. If I were them, I would have finished with the other one, just because that one is coming next year, and it's like the new thing. whereas this is coming in December, so like we really don't have to wait too long for it at all, which is really nice. Because yeah, the original Octopath, I remember that had a bit of a lengthy gap between the reveal and the release. So it's cool that just like all of a sudden there's a new Octopath Traveler, Zero, yeah, not 3, but Zero, coming this year. And on the one hand, I want to praise Square Enix for giving us these games still, giving us so many. But then on the other hand, I really do have to admit, I am a lot less likely to play this one because I have the other one to play. You know, like I'm so excited about Elliot. I'm like, I may just have to wait for that one. I don't know, though. All the Octopath Traveler games, all these games, very, very high quality. I didn't get to play the first one, but I did play a lot of the second one, and it's extremely good. Love the world, visuals, story, gameplay, just everything about it. They're all really nice. So I'm very, very happy to see that we are getting yet another one. It's still worth it for Square Enix to keep doing these. I love that. So yeah, overall, like I said, there were, I mean, that's the thing about any presentation is like, if you go into a presentation and nothing personally appeals to you, you're going to come away kind of disappointed. And I do understand the people who were kind of bummed about it, mainly because we didn't get a lot of like big AAA stuff. You know, there's all these games that we would love, you know, a lot of people talking about like Red Dead Redemption 2 or like Doom the Dark Ages would have been really nice, or Oblivion Remastered. There are a lot of games that sure could stand to come to the Switch too. And also it is surprising that we did not get a release date or anything for Elden Ring or like Final Fantasy. So like, sure, there could have been more big AAA stuff. This had a bigger emphasis on like smaller, medium titles, but like that's a lot of games. To me, like yeah, sure, it wasn't like I guess it wasn't nearly every game I had something to talk about, but I don't know, a good solid half, maybe even more. That's a tremendous amount of games, and it's not just like if they had given me nothing but ports of pre-existing games, but the games were good, I would have been fine. But like, that is so many more brand new game announcements than I could have ever anticipated. Like, really, we've got Monster Hunter Stories 3, Katamari, and then 2 Square Enix RPGs. And I don't know if any of these are going to end up being like forever exclusives. Probably not. I imagine they'll probably be timed exclusives. You know, Octopath has been like coming to PC eventually. And so I don't really know where we're at exactly on that. But like, whatever the case though, that's 4, to me, very notable brand new game reveals. And then on top of that, a bunch of other great ports. Plants vs. Zombies and Yakuza, and then Hela, like that looks really cool too. So yeah, I don't know, like that was a bunch. I'm very, very pleased with that presentation. Yeah, it didn't like knock my socks off with the big like AAA, look at what you can play on your Switch 2 now, but like I also like, we got plenty of time, you know, like it's the beginning of the generation and there's a whole lot of video games out there that can potentially come to the Switch 2. I'm willing to be patient. I'm willing to wait a little bit. There are going to be other presentations down the road. And if anything, just like look at the April Direct and some of the games that were announced there, that you had a bunch of really big AAA announcements. And then here in this partner showcase, a little bit more medium stuff. So like, I don't know, maybe if they have a main direct in September, they could reveal some other big AAA stuff there. It could just be they're sticking to the smaller stuff for you. So I don't know. I'm just saying, I think it's good to be patient. And I am sorry to anyone who feels disappointed by this presentation or disappointed in me for enjoying it. There certainly were a lot of those this morning, but I am sorry. I must speak my truth. I think there's a bunch of really cool games. New Monster Hunter Stories! That's rad. I really love to. And I really cannot even tell you how great Adventures of Elliot looks. Like, the more I think about it, the more hyped I'm getting. I don't know. It's that style, but like I don't know. I don't play like a whole lot of games like this, but I've played a couple East games. And I'm like, I love the sprite work, but you're just kind of running around hacking at stuff. I just really love that. So if this is anything like that, I'm very excited. Oh yeah, and then Zelda. Yeah, right. And then that too. Like, that's the cherry on top. We got a trailer for a basically first-party Nintendo game in this partner showcase. I don't know, like, to me that is so much more than I could have asked for.